But regarding letting go, you see, we cannot. If we observe a tension, and we say, "I'm going to let go of this tension," it's not a real letting go, because a real letting go or release is not going to be the release of a specific thing. Because if we release a specific thing, we create a releaser of this thing, and the releaser itself is a contraction somewhere else. So that's why it's a very tricky thing about releasing or relaxing or surrendering, because it is an all or nothing type. You see, either we surrender everything or we surrender nothing. We have to understand that. And so this universal or total surrender seems to be hard to achieve. But in fact, it is very simple, because all that it requires is the will to surrender completely. And the moment we have this will to surrender completely, we are surrendered. You see, the tricky thing is to remain surrendered. But we shouldn't have any doubts. We should understand that this will to surrender comes from our true nature, and therefore, the moment we will it, our willing it is our doing it. It may not look or feel like what we, in our imagination, surrender should look like. Because in our imagination it may look like God appearing on top of the mountain all of a sudden and saying, "Hi, I'm here." No, it's not the way it looks. It looks like what it looks like and what it feels like when we have this unequivocal decision to surrender now. You know, at that moment we have to know it's this option has been chosen, and it is going to remain in effect up until we choose to remove it. So this it's very important, because then we know we don't have to go somewhere else to do anything else. You see, at that moment we don't have to keep propelling ourselves into the future, into a further goal. We know, no, now I have arrived. There is nothing else I have to do. I am surrendered. The only thing, I should stay surrendered. And it's interesting to observe how the tendency will come again to do something, to move towards a different goal, and to leave as a result my surrendering or my surrendered condition, you see. So it's really about remaining in this surrendered condition. And one of the aspects actually is the one you mentioned, which is accept not knowing. You know, the one who has beautifully described this total surrender is Meister Eckhart, in his sermon on the poor man, where he describes what it means to being poor in spirit, and he says the one who is poor in spirit is the one who wills nothing, who knows nothing, and who has nothing. So to will nothing means not to project ourselves into the future, right? And to have nothing means not to project ourselves into the past as the possessor of this possession. And to know nothing is this not knowing in the now. So that covers the three dimensions of time, if you will. So that in this way, this surrender, or this being poor in spirit, can be universal.
A few conversations ago, last weekend I think, or maybe the weekend before, you had a dialogue about fear and you said it'd be actually a very good idea if you could offer yourself to the fear and die before you die. Is
Yeah.
that the same type of surrender where you offer the fear?
Yes, yes. If you do that, of course, you perform the triple surrender. You know, it's a surrender of dying, because when you die, you leave everything you will, everything you know, and everything you have, right? So it is dying before dying. Yes.
Okay, that sounds intense.
Yes, but it sounds complicated and difficult until you understand what I've just said, that in fact it's extremely simple, because in the now it's not difficult, you see? And then the only question is to stick to it.